Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Rohin here, and I welcome you all to Rohindua Digital. And today we are having a very special guest with us. And that guy is kind of a big name in digital marketing space in Australia. So running a pretty, like a busy digital marketing company over there. So it's no other than David Krauter. So yeah, David, how are you?
Hey, Rowan, good, thank you. And thanks for having me on here. We've been working together for a long time. You do a lot of good stuff. So I'm excited to have a chat and have a bit of a yarn about, about the digital marketing space and what we do.
Yeah, true. Because there is a lot of things been happening in SEO side, especially in the last 1.5 years. You have seen when this Chat GPT and all this AI tools starting coming
Right.
up, things has been changed. So a Google algorithm is very dynamically changing as well. So yeah, I think it's a lot more we can discuss right now. And then yeah, the things are actually going good. All right. So, without taking much of time, David, just tell us a bit about yourself. I guess the viewers really want to know what your company is, what you guys do, what kind of clients do you have as well.
Cool. All righty. I'll give you a quick kind of snapshot. So I kind of cut my teeth on direct response marketing back in 2007.
Yep.
So back then I was just helping small business owners generate leads, but it wasn't on the internet. Back then the internet was really just kind of taking off. A lot of business owners didn't even have a website back then.
Yep.
So we really focused on newspaper ads, letterbox drops, and building lists. But here's the thing: so back then there wasn't. Oh, I think there was Mailchimp and things like that, but again, people didn't understand how to use it. So their lists back then, it was in a spreadsheet. So it was the client's name, their
Yep.
physical mailing address. And if they did have an email, it'd be the email address as well. And then we do mail outs, direct mail. So this
Correct.
isn't or anything like that. This is direct mail. You write the letter, you put a stamp on it, put it in an envelope, and send it out. And
Yeah.
that's the kind of marketing promotions that I started with. Then, as the internet took off more and more, we applied those strategies online,
Yep.
and learning from the greats like Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, Ryan Dice. That's the kind of people that Gary Halbert that I learned from in terms of copywriting here in Australia. Pete Godfrey, Mel Emery. That's kind of my marketing background. That's the guys that I learned from. But then really started to apply everything online because those kind of more old school guys that were doing all the direct response stuff, they didn't really operate online just yet. So that's kind of really, we cut our teeth online there. And that's kind of where the whole websites that sell thing came from. And then we really niched down. At the start, we were doing everything, like
Yep.
whatever makes money, right? When you're
Yep.
starting your
I
business. And
remember. Yes.
we delved in Facebook pages. We were doing websites. I was doing copywriting. We did apps at one stage. But then the thing that's really stuck for us is SEO and websites. So
Yes.
we really niched down, making those our two core offerings. And now that we're growing and we're getting really good at those, we're slowly adding on other complementing services that fall in that realm as well.
Yep. So with website that sells, how big is your team right now?
How big? So we've got a team of 9 that are working with us here, and then we've got a few contractors that help us with execution as well. But yeah,
Yep.
the majority of our teams here in Australia, we operate on the Sunshine Coast, which is in Queensland, beautiful sunny coast. So that's where our office is. That's where the majority of our team is. And then, as I said, we've got a few contractors. We've done a lot of business with you over the years as well. So that's kind of how it all happens.
Yep. No, that's great, man. And especially when you said Dan Kennedy and all these guys, they're just wonderful. They're all their principles, all their kind of fundamentals are pretty strong, and it really helps out to convert the deal really quickly. So I've
Mm.
read a few of their books as well, and it's just next level, this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, the biggest thing I say when I talk to clients is, and that's really a point of difference as well, Rowan, is that I always say I'm a marketer first, and then I'm a tech SEO gig or SEO website gig second. But like that's my grounding. That's what I learned. That's where I
Yes.
learned my skills, and then I apply all that to SEO. So that's really kind of the way that we do SEO is a lot different from a lot of tech guys because it's marketing based, which is actually, you mentioned the algorithm updates, and it's really where Google's shifting as well. It's all marketing based, having good content that's relevant to your target market. That's marketing 101. So all these shifts that people are saying, oh no, my site's tanking. It's like, if you get your marketing right, you shouldn't tank. You should have the right information on your website. Well, big example, the EAT update, EEAT.
Yep.
It's just positioning. Again, that's part of your marketing arsenal. And what Google's looking for is authority. But if you position yourself correctly, if you have articles of where you've been featured in the news, your certifications, how long you've been in business, that's just good positioning. That's just good marketing. You should do that with whenever you speak somewhere, whenever you first introduce yourself somewhere, usually give someone a bio of, hey, this is what this guy's been doing, this is how long he's been running it. That's what EAT is it's making you a legitimate person. So again, if you're doing your marketing right, you should already have all those signals, and you should just prosper during those ranking updates rather than dreading them when they're coming. You should be looking forward to them.
Exactly right, because I've seen these kind of things are kind of missing in most of the websites as well. So a lot of website design companies, they usually go after the aesthetic looks for the website, but they just link that nitty gritty, that technical SEO kind of thing to the SEO teams, or maybe they want to sell more kind of these things down the track as a add-on. So which is still all right, but I guess if these kind of things should be covered from the day one, maybe it can make a good impact on the overall rankings and the overall positioning of that client in their niche as well.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So we took on a client last month, big project. So what we did is upfront, we actually did a big sprint upfront rather than rolling it out over 12 months. We did a big chunk of work up front, and it involved, and they had landing pages and they had some content on there. So we could have just left it as is, and we probably would have ranked them on the first page and eventually gotten up there. But rather than just leaving them like that, we looked at restructuring the page for user experience. So that's nothing to do with SEO to start with, but we knew so here's the other difference with our team, because we've got web design people, we've got content people, and we've got the SEO team, we're a cohesive team that kind of works together, okay? So rather than just, hey, we need all this content, drop it on the page, do the title tags, do the metas, do all the technical stuff, the basics. We actually think it through. It's like, okay, if we're going to have this piece of content fit on the page, rather than just dropping it on there, let's just map out the page properly. Let's then look at, okay, well, how do we need to design this? How do we wireframe this? And then drop the content in there. So yes, it takes a lot more work up front, but you should see the results. So with this client, we dropped the stuff, and they weren't on the first page for a lot of the terms. Straight away, these terms moved from like the 6th, 7th page onto the first page. We hadn't even started doing the link building. Is just having the information on there. We did all the basic stuff. Like we know how to do SEO, so we did all the basics, but we haven't even started doing cluster interlinking. We haven't even started building any kind of foundational links, any kind of high power links or anything like that. It was purely redesigning the page for user experience. It's like, and this is where the marketing thing comes from again, Rowan. It's like, what does the person, if we're trying to rank for a keyword, what does the person need to see on the page to stay on that page in that first few seconds?
Exactly right.
What do they need to hear next? What do they need to hear next? Dan Kennedy calls this the grease slide. You want them to slide down your page, and it's just understanding your target market and then writing that page based on that target market's needs. So I'm talking heaps. I get excited about this stuff.
That's true. It's very true. This is very true. As far as we can understand the entire psychology of the user, I guess it's a lot more easy to convert as well, because I've seen a lot of your websites, the something you guys build it out. You guys write it down the copy really well. So when it comes to a copy, it's something like the person get engaged so much with the pages, and it builds kind of a trust as well. And they're more than okay from the conversion point of view to actually pick up phone and ring those guys and say like, hey, I looked at this thing on your website. I want to have a talk to you about it. So I guess these things really help in the strong lead generation for your clients as well.
Yeah, I think lead generation. So the key is, and it's one of our core values that we would generate results for clients. So I would never go out and sell rankings as a service. I would never sell SEO as a service. What we believe in, that if we don't generate more traffic, leads, or inquiries, so phone calls and form inquiries, whatever you want to call them, I call them phone calls and leads. That's what you want to judge us on. Okay, as an SEO firm, don't judge us on ranking you number 1, 2, or 3. If the phone's ringing, if there's inquiries coming in, that's what you need to judge us on. And we track and measure everything. Like, one of the stances in the agency that we want to build is that our reputation precedes us. Like, that's the vision that I have for our
Yes.
agency, that the
Yes.
results that we generate for clients, that's what echoes into the industry. That's what people know us for. There's like, that's that agency that generates results.
Exactly right.
SEO agency, we're a web design agency, but foremost, we're an agency that generates results for clients. That's our true north.
And that's what the company says, websites that sells.
Yeah, correct. It's like, and look, I get like, good design. You've got to have good design, but it just, again, it depends. Like, and we've had this argument with clients. It's like, you can have a website like Apple if you
Yes.
are Apple. Like, if your product is already sold, and again, you just got to understand marketing. If your product and your brand is big enough so it already sells your product, you don't have to let people know who you are, what you do, why you're the best. Apple does such a good job with that in their brand marketing.
Exactly.
You don't need a website that converts. It's just a nice, pretty good user experience website. If you're a plumber and no one knows you, but you're the best in your industry, they're going to only judge you based on what's on the website. So you've got to tell them, hey, I'm there the fastest. I do this, I do this, I do this, ring right now. And that's not going to look pretty, but it's going to give the right information to the intent of the searcher. So the searcher doesn't want you to have a pretty website. They don't care about that. They just want you to go to their house as quick as possible and fix their leaking tap, their busted pipe. So you've got to understand who your target market is, and then how your website needs to represent that. So there's that fine line of a high converting direct response website or a beautiful website. It just depends on your strategy. It depends on where your target market's up to in their buying cycle as well.
Getting the right message in front of your target audience, and
and in the right way. Like, it's got to be presented visually the right way as well.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with that, because there is no point, no matter how good you are, but if you can't really get in front of your target audience, no one really gonna find out and that this is a guy I need to talk to. So I guess these are some of the good stuff what you have shared. I remember working with yourself for quite a long time, and I remember one of a good thing as a mentor I learned from you was the reporting side. Because even myself, I completely agree with that. I used to, I mean, like, forever there is a client, I used to send them, okay, these are 5 keywords, and this is what your rankings right now is. And the next month, the rankings maybe shuffle a bit, and the third one is going on. And then the client used to say, hey, my rankings are not really moving, because I'm just showing them those 5 to 10 keywords only, what they actually gave me. And then I remember when I spoke to you and you told me about the overall reporting structure, like how important it is, because we might haven't moved much for those competitive keywords what the client has given us, but maybe on the contrary, we have given them a lot of more impressions, more visibility to their brand. And so it really helps out with the overall retainers as well. And then what 100%. I did, I started taking those nuggets, I started applying in so I built out that entire data studio. Then we moved on to another reporting structure format, in which the client can see the complete 360-degree kind of a reporting. And really, it really helped me a lot. It helped me a lot in paying their bills, because they could literally see, hey, maybe we are not moving for this, but we are actually, the client is giving us this agency is giving us so much additional visibility in the various form of keywords. So that was kind of a big thing what I've seen. That really changed a lot of things in my overall.
That's awesome. I'm glad we could help. Hey, so on that note, in our company, we have kind of 2 guiding questions that we ask. And one of them is, so the first one I already shared, are they seeing results? I'm always asking, are they seeing results? Are they seeing results? The other question that we have, and that guides us in this, and this is why we do the reporting, is do they smile when they think about us?
Oh, yes.
Because there's really only well, if you're not doing reporting, there's one time that they'll hear from you a month, and that's when the invoice comes.
Yes.
So that's why I want another touch point in there. That's the first thing. As reporting is the other one, but I want to celebrate all the wins that we have achieved. So when it comes around to the invoice coming, they're smiling as well. They're like, oh yeah, this month they did this, we achieved this, we achieved this. I'm happy to pay this invoice. I'm smiling because of how much they grew our business from doing this. So that's one of the things. It's 100%. The other thing that we're really big about, and the core belief is transparency. That's one of our core beliefs, and that's what reporting is. Like in the SEO industry, it's so shady. Like some of the stuff that I've seen, I've been doing this, as I said, since 2007. But some of the reports that I've seen, it's like, really? And it's like, it's blatant lies that they said they would do work and nothing's happened. So just on that, we wanted to separate ourselves. I'm like, you're going to see not just what we achieved in terms of rankings, you're going to see the impact that's going to have, and we're going to give you proof of work that we have done. Now that's on the client side. So I'm glad that's helped you a lot. But you know what I realized? Because even we get new team members that come in and they're like, can't you just automate all this? Can't you just send them an automated report? And I say, no, because I want you to get your hands dirty with this data. Okay, so this is our team members. I want our team members to study what's going on. If it's all automated, you may not spot what has gone wrong. So if it's all automated, fed in there, and this is with any KPIs, I don't automate any KPIs because I want us to get our hands dirty with the KPIs. Otherwise, we forget about them. We just, oh yeah, it's automated. And then by the time it's too late, I mean, by the time the campaigns had a bad run, it's already a month later. And because it's all automated, you haven't even looked at it. So that's why the reason why we do reporting the way we do, because it actually makes us engage really in depth and analyze the data, see the patterns, as well as what we execute on them and we strategize them. But this really makes us kind of massage the campaign every month. So it's really important. That's the second reason we do it.
I've seen your reporting structures. They're very, very detailed actually, Mike, because it's just not, you use agency analytics, you use a lot of write-ups along with that as well, so that the clients can really read and interpret those results as well. It's not something they're just looking at the numbers and then they're just scratching their mind, hey, what's going on? I mean, like, what I need to say into that. But you actually put on a kind of a detailed thing and the strategy as well. So it's something kind of thing I've never seen in any other agency, to be honest, because they don't really do it, because first thing, they need that much amount of data. Second one is they don't want to transparently show that data to the client with a kind of a scare that maybe looking at all this kind of a data, maybe the client gonna cancel the ranking, or maybe gonna come with and asking like 100 of questions. So this is kind of thing is actually missing in the industry, what I've seen. So yeah, no, it's actually a great work you're doing, and especially like you can I've seen those kind of reportings you showed me last time, where you in fact tell them, okay, these many impressions we have gained, that's kind of ranking, even these many calls we have generated for yourself organically, and even the paid ads and everything. It's just kind of pretty awesome stuff what I've seen. Well, highly convertible actually.
But you know what? So I'll tell you one more thing around that, is that, and this again, this just goes back to marketing 101. If I just send our clients, the majority of our clients, so in terms of who we service, so we work with builders, mortgage brokers, we've worked with lawyers, with dentists, with deck builders, with dentists, just all range of different industries. They're not tech-minded like us. Okay, so they don't understand. If I send a screenshot of Google Analytics in terms of their traffic, they'd be like, great, so what? So that's the mindset again in terms of marketing. If you lead with a headline that's very technical and it doesn't speak to them, so it's like, we've done these rankings, it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah, they won't stay for long.
Yeah. So the way you want to lead is, hey, we've achieved these rankings, which meant traffic went up, which meant this month your calls grew by this many calls. We've generated a total of X amount of calls, which based on your conversion rate should have turned in this to many clients. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, that's the
Yeah,
value that they've added to my
that,
company this
that
week. And
makes
that's why we explain it that way.
now that makes them happy. Yeah. Now, and just another quick question was coming into my mind. I know, David, you are kind of a deal closer, man. I mean, like if you're getting it, if I'll give you 10 leads, I know you're gonna close like 8 leads out of those. That is kind of you actually tell them what they really want to listen. I know it, but still, I want to know from you. I mean, like, let's say you're getting a lead. Okay, first thing, let's start with the basic. How you actually generate the leads. You don't need to get into too much detail into it. It's
Yeah,
just,
cool.
is that something you use like organic, you use paid ads, you reference, word of mouth, what exactly you do to generate the leads, and then how you actually get them converted? Because most of the time what I've seen, there's a lot of follow-ups actually required once we get the deal, once we get them on a phone call, then there is a follow-ups required because there is a kind of a hierarchy we need to follow as well. The guy is saying, hey, I need to talk to my co-founder. Okay, I'll talk to the co-founder and get back to you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of delays, and that actually dilute the overall thing as well. So how
Yeah.
you about it? How do you face these kind of challenges when the client is saying, like, I have to talk to my partner, but the partner is saying, hey, these guys are asking too much. Maybe we can find some cheaper alternative to that. Because I've seen this kind of thing very often in the industry, that the people like a B2C, like the customers don't really understand. Like, we guys have spent a lot of time in learning the things, in decoding this Google algorithm, and then it takes a lot of effort as well.
Okay, cool. I'll get back to that, but everything we've talked about to this point is the objective is to keep the client
Happy.
another month for as long as possible. So one of the things, again, in the agency that we want to build, and this is a part of our vision, is that we'll have clients that have been with us for 10, 20, even 30 years. That's one of the goals and one of the visions that I have for our agency. So in terms of the reason I'm telling you this is we've got clients that have been with us for 10 years now. So SEO clients have stuck with us for 10 years. If you look at the SEO industry, on average, client span is 1 to 3 months.
Yeah,
It's like
they
the
move on.
average.
They
Yeah,
move
they get,
on
and
quickly.
that's the industry, because it's run by salespeople and they're not SEO people delivering properly. But that's the average, that the client spans about 1 to 3 months. And if they hit anything above 3 months, bonus. That's not my thinking. Okay. This is really important because that plugs into my sales process. So that's the way we position ourselves. And I ask a lot from the clients to provide me a lot of things before they get to meet me. Okay, so it's positioning again. So rather than and look, there is little sales things that you can do to, hey, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what do you need to talk to your business partner about? Okay, is there anything else? Okay, it's this. Okay, it's good. Just so we're on the same page. Is this really, like, is it a budget thing or is it really this? So I try and handle any objection before I give them too much of my time straight away. And probably the biggest thing we do now, because we're selective about who we take on, is that if the budget's not there, I just say it's probably not a good solution for you. Either A, you go with our paid ad solution. That's a good starting point. Or you look for someone else that is not at our level, because we're Australian based. We've
Yes.
got an in-house team. We don't outsource our strategy and stuff overseas, so we can't compete on price. We compete
Yes.
on results. But then I bring it back to results. Hey, if you're looking to get this kind of result, this kind of result, this kind of result, if you're really serious, I'm happy to make time for that. And then, so I really sell the free meeting, because I'm going to give them a lot of value up front. Okay. A lot of people, they could, after the meeting that they have with me, they could walk away
Yes.
and outsource it and implement and probably do all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do a lot of upfront strategy work in the call.
Yep.
And yes, it's a lot of investment, and some of them don't close, but it's called consultative selling. So you're positioning yourself as an expert. So that happens, and all of a sudden you impress their socks off. Okay. So you blow their socks off by doing what you're doing. And then two, you're giving them so much. It's the principle of sowing and reaping. Like, and as soon as you give someone, they feel compelled to give back as well. Okay,
Yes.
so you want to give them so much value up front. They're like, man, if he's giving this to me for free, how good is the stuff that we're going to pay for? Again, this is nothing new. This is Dan Kennedy. He teaches this to the yin yang. That's his like his he calls it like the irresistible offer. How can you make your offer irresistible? And it's all part of, it's not just your offer isn't, and this is what people misunderstand. People think you only make an offer when you get paid. I believe that your offer is part of your how you actually set up the sale as well to be getting paid. It's your how much value you're giving to the market. Like you doing these interviews, you're building your offer because you're providing value to the market straight away. So we do that in our meetings as well. And then look, by the end, I'm also very upfront where the money goes. So it's not like, okay, your campaign's 1,500, because the clients don't understand. It's like, well, where's this budget getting allocated? So I'm very specific. Hey, we're going to spend 1 hour here, 3 hours doing this. A backlink takes us this long or this much to generate, so that we're going to allocate this many hours here. So they know in the meeting, I build out the campaign with them. And then you're like, and then they're like, oh, now it's at $2,000. It's like, oh, well, do you want to be more competitive? It's like, yeah. So let's go twice as hard. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to need twice the links. Is that cool? So we're literally building the campaign together on the call, because it's like, okay, so it's not just me saying, do this, we need this much budget, otherwise we can't work together. It's like, okay, where do we start? If it's a good starting point, let's have this meeting and let's work out exactly what's the best campaign for you. So we're educating them, okay, we need this much for content. We need this much backlinks. Oh, that's too much. It's like, okay, well, could you write some of the content yourself? Okay, cool. We can cut that back. And then we massage it and really build it one-on-one with them until they're ready. So they're not being sold. It's literally, hey, we're doing this together. And it just builds rapport, it builds trust. And then if everything else is in line, they're going to stick with you for a long time. And here's probably the other reason that people fail is they take on SEO campaigns when they shouldn't. And one of the principles that I learned early on is that just because you can doesn't mean you should.
You should.
So just because I could close an SEO client at $500 doesn't mean I should. And so I'm not going to, because I know we're not going to be able to deliver at that budget. So I'd rather forego those $500 a month and give them to someone that could, maybe a one-man band SEO guy who doesn't carry the amount of team that we have, or doesn't do the kind of backlinks that we do, the quality that we deliver, or just say, hey, your expectation is totally wrong. You're trying to, let's say, mortgage broker. You're trying to compete for mortgage broker Brisbane at $500. Like, how much is one lead worth to you? One sale.
Lots of competition on the page one, like more competition, of course, the more the backlink and even the effort the SEO agency has to put in. So everything composites. So it's kind of a bridge. They need to or like how much the effort and how much I'm paying, and then make the call accordingly. Because it's actually a good point that it's important to educate the people.
Make them understand why.
Like they know everything. They might not know everything. When we are working on the campaign, we need to educate them up in a way that they can understand. They can understand, hey, these guys are actually literally putting a lot of effort into the things, and it's well worth what they are asking. So this is a good point.
In terms of a quick answer, it's the right positioning, choosing the right clients. So be willing. If I get 5 calls and 4 of them don't have the budget and I see we can't do and help them, it's just straight up no, we can't help. You're saving their time, you're saving your own time. But then if that one's right, go above and beyond and use those 30 minutes of each of those other 4 that you would have tried to close. You wouldn't have had a good relationship, and put all of that into that one. Really build a good relationship, blow them away, and then build a good relationship on that. It's a lot slower, but if you ask any successful operator, any successful entrepreneur, overnight success doesn't exist. They've been building this thing for a long time, and it's just when you get to a critical stage, you don't have to run as fast anymore. You can really choose and build slow, but those slow clients will stay a lot longer.
Oh yeah, David, because I've seen a lot in the industry as well. The people that think, okay, let's open up agency. Now we know like this agency probably be doing good. They just go and create like 10 different agencies, and they're thinking like every single agency gonna give them like $1 million every month, and then they're probably gonna make a lot of money out of it. But it's actually not the thing, because every successful campaign, every good client takes a time. And if you can't really give the time, then let's not waste their time as well, because
Exactly. That's the
because
point.
that gonna hurdle out their growth, and at least they can go somewhere else. And that takes me back to the same thing, like lots of follow-ups and everything, because when there is a lot of follow-ups and that kind of things is happening, it's not a right kind of a client as well. It
Mm.
is a good possibility, like if it's a, like you said, it's a $500 per month kind of a client, and if we have to do like 5 kind of a follow-ups with them, sitting on a calls every single day, it's not worth. It's much better to apply a 80-20 rule over there, and just spend those 80% of time on that 20% of the clients to help them grow and take the things to the next level.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just give you one more thing there. So let's say the client said $500,
Yep.
but no, like A, they need a lot more for their industry. And two, they've got it. It's just they don't want to spend it because they don't see the value. So the first of all, it's probably because of education. But here's what we do. It's in the sales game, it's called takeaway selling. And just by the fact is, hey, we're probably not a good fit. A lot of the times, those that really want it but just don't understand SEO yet. It's like, hang on. No, why? Is like, well, you obviously can't afford it. So it was like, no, that's not the case. It was like, well, but you're not willing. And it's like, no, but I just don't know how it
Then,
works. And it's like, okay, there's the objection.
oh
So
yeah.
you gotta
So the
look for
root
the real
cause,
objection.
yeah, so the
Yeah,
root cause is not sitting up here, it's actually far behind. So we need to go and need to find
what's
out
the real objection
what
here?
the real rejection is, objection is, and then we need to try to solve at that point. Because yeah, it again comes to the basically educating them, because maybe they just picked up a number of $500 per month kind of a figure. Maybe they do not really know about it, that how much effort is actually involved. They might have
Exactly.
or they might have actually contacted someone who was willing to do it at that budget, and they thought like, hey, this is what actually works in the SEO industry, so they just took that budget in their
That's
mind
just,
and doing the things.
yeah, you look at the paid ads, it's like, we'll do your SEO for $99 a month. It's like, really? Like, what are you going to get for that? We can't even give you 1 hour for that.
Yeah, because
So,
everyone just wants the results, what I've seen from the month one. And because in paid ads, they can literally see from the month one as well if everything has been done properly. That's why they try to relate both the things like together.
hmm,
But they have to understand the same point, that in 6 months time, let's say you are spending like 70% of your budget on paid ads and 30% is going against SEO. In 6 months time, when there is a lot of organic traffic start gonna coming in, it can reduce your overall paid ad budget as well. So there is kind of a win, but it gonna come gradually. It won't come I mean like straight away in a month one. So
yeah,
it's
and
kind of a
that's, you got to set the
misconception.
roadmap, like the expectations. You've got to set that. So that's,
Yeah.
as a salesperson, that's probably the other thing. In the industry, it's so many agencies have salespeople, and then they just hand the lead over and they set all these really high expectations, make promises, and they're like, well, I got my commission, now you go. And then the SEO people can't perform, and bang, month 3, well, you haven't achieved what you said you would, so you're gone. So we don't do that. I don't set false expectations just to get a sale. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just, I could easily lie. I could easily, even not even lying, but just say it in a way where they think it's true. It's like, nah, I'm pretty straightforward. It's like, hey, this is what's going to take. But once we're there, here's what we're going to achieve. And here's a case study that we've done it. Here's another case study that we've done it. Here's another. So we just pile on proof. And here's exactly how we're going to do it. Show them the roadmap, show them where their hours are going. They don't even compare us to other agencies anymore because no one's done it and explained it this way before.
And are you really guys kind of a agency who say in their pitch, basically sales pitch, hey, we're gonna do the first month for free? I know a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people, they say, oh, we're gonna do the first month for free. Don't worry, just give us the project. No, is that something you try to do it, or you have tried in the past, and did that really work?
That look, you know what? I think I probably have. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've tried a few different things, but we're at a stage now where that's not even part of the equation. We charge more on the setup than we
Yep.
do on a month by month. So their first month is their most expensive. So
Yes.
and it just again, it comes down positioning, but it just shows them the amount of work that's involved. So
Uh,
we do a lot of, but the thing is, we do a lot of work the first month to get the result pretty quick too. I don't promise instant results, but we do get results pretty quick. So usually that's just part of what we do.
All right, all right. No, and no, that's pretty good takeaways actually. What you said from the lead generation, that point of view, that it's important to don't set any kind of like a false expectations. That number one, the reporting is super important. That we should be transparent on the reporting side with the clients, and yeah, we should be having a kind of a power to say no as well. If you feel like this client is probably not a right fit for us, and maybe we are not a right fit for them, then it's good to say no sometimes, so that they can go and take the expectations and something to someone else who can meet them over time and deliver the results as well. So
Yeah,
these are few things
yeah.
really important. Okay, just a very good question. I know you are a pretty good team leader as well, and I've seen a lot of pictures of yours taking out the team on periodically on basically the outings, night outs kind of thing. Tell us a bit about it, because it's kind of a thing what we have seen, even with my company as well. My guys sometimes complain me. He's like, "Hey, so you doesn't really take us anywhere," and I'm saying like, okay, you guys are remotely, and most of the time we need to have together at one place, then only we can plan something. So that's a bit
Right.
about it. How you go about it, how you manage the budget in that way as well, because obviously
Sure.
we got the team night outs and that takes a lot of budget. And most of the time the agencies, they scare of that. They say like, oh, we have to spend and have to that much. I know that team building is really an important task
Sure.
as well to keep them happy.
All right. So a few things there. This is just from a mentor that I've learned. Peter is he was a business consultant that we got into. He's really good with this cultural piece. Peter Lowe, 100x, um, and he just really made me realize that we spend the majority of our between our 30s and probably our 60s, majority of our life spent at work. Like we spend 8 hours at work. So realizing this, obviously me as an entrepreneur, I love going to work because that's my thing. It's like I'm building something, that's it. But not every employee is like that. They're not driven like that, and that's okay. That's totally fine. But then it's my job to make sure that we actually have fun in those 8 hours.
Mm,
Okay. Because the happiest people on earth, they're giving people, they're people that actually enjoy what they're doing. Now, if this place isn't fun, if it's not enjoyable, we're not going to keep key staff, and we're not going to attract new team members, quality team members. We're not going to attract quality staff either. So one of our core values is that we want to be the happiest place on earth, even if it's close second to Disneyland.
yes,
So
yes, yes,
that's one of our core values. And then if I'm going to have that as a core value, it's like, well, what does that look like? Okay, so we've got flexibility in our work schedules. We do 2 big social outings every year. So it's not like we go out every month, but we do 2 big ones every year. So we don't know, mini golfing, we go bowling, we go to different stuff. Okay, so we only do 2 a month, but then we do one unexpected thing at the office every month. And it doesn't have to cost a whole heap of money. Like if that's an issue, I know when I was a smaller agency, it would have been an issue in my mind too.
yes.
But it doesn't have to be. Like one time we just did a potluck, and what that is we said, okay, it's Super Bowl. Super Bowl's on, so we're in Australia, so the American Super Bowl's on Sunday for them, but for us it's on Monday. And then everyone just brings in a meal, and we just share like an international meal together while watching the Super Bowl for half of the day at the office. So that's not a costly exercise, but that's a fun thing. So
Yeah.
every month, try and look for, okay, what's one thing we can do this month to kind of just build the atmosphere? Because if I'm going to have it as a core value, that's an important thing for me.
Oh
So
yeah.
you got to actually do it. But so that's the first piece. The other piece is your mindset. Okay. And what I mean by that is the you got to think about it's not actually a cost. It's an investment into your team. Anyone that's in an agency level where you've got more than 4 or 5 staff members knows how valuable a good SEO is, or a good web developer, or a good designer, and how hard they are to get, especially post-COVID. So it's actually an investment to keep your staff and actually get buy-in from them, and B, it's an investment to attract good new talent as well. So it's a mindset shift as well for the agency owner, that it's actually an investment, not a cost. So it's
I
really
completely
remember that.
agree with you, because they are giving a lot of time with us at work. I mean, like I always tell my wife, I said, like my team members, I spend more time with them rather than with you guys, because during the daytime. And
I get it.
I said, like it's really very important. It's kind of our social responsibility as well to look after them. If they're really in kind of any need, we should be step forward and offer them what they want, in regards of finances, or in regards of time as well. So these kind of things actually make a good team retention as well, because it's super hard. One of the most challenging thing running such a big team at my end I've seen is actually training the new people. So training the new people, no one really wants, because we all are so busy in our day-to-day show. We don't really want to actually train the new people every single day. And if we can keep our old guys on board for such a long time, keeping them happy, giving them a kind of a increase what they need every year, and all these parties and everything, they're probably gonna be more capable of training the new guys who are actually coming on board.
Yeah.
So it's
Can you see,
important to keep them.
yeah, can you see the parallels here in terms of building your business and attracting new clients and keeping clients? It's so much cheaper to keep a new client than to get a new client. We all know that. Anyone in the marketing game knows it. So that's my focus. I want to keep our clients as long as possible. It's exactly the same with new team members, like training them up, getting them up to speed. It's very, very costly. So being able to keep them is actually, and just doing a little bit of investment into them is much cheaper than trying to hire a new one all the time, because
Because it's quite easy. Like people who have already seen our services, it's more important to actually keep them retaining. I mean, like serving them more, because what I've seen in the industry, even with some of my friends, even some of the agencies, what I've seen, they keep on finding new clients, which is not wrong. It's absolutely not. But at the same time, they don't really sometimes actually give that much value to their existing clients as well. Now that is completely wrong, because your mindset is to keep on adding more clients to the kitty, but don't really look after the things. So basically, we are taking those guys as granted. We are saying like, okay, these are already on board, so probably they keep on paying me the bills. But at the same time, we need to understand like they can move on as well if they don't really get the services which really expect. They are here for the services. They trusted us for it. They believe like this guy gonna keep giving me kind of a quality which is already giving me. But over the time, if they notice, oh, maybe his mind is somewhere else to adding more clients, then they're probably gonna think of move on as well.
Yeah. Well, just put it this way. Let's say you got one client who stayed with you for 12 months.
Yep.
Compared to 4 clients, each one staying with you only for 3 months. How much extra work is involved in each time onboarding, learning their industry, learning their profile, studying their site? It's so much more, and you've made exactly the same amount of money, except that you could have probably handled 3 larger ones of the same for 12 months than taking on these new ones, because all the extra time it takes, it's actually more expensive to get 4 new clients compared to just keeping one.
Yes, and that again brings us back to the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. I mean, like there's a lot to learn from the 80-20 rule. What I've seen.
It's applicable everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere we can apply that. So no, and just a very final question. I know you have already given a lot of time, David, and
You're right.
we know this COVID-19 was quite of a challenging time for all of us. A lot of things actually happened, especially if there was a big hit to the local businesses and eventually to the marketing people as well. Because I know that some of my clients and a lot of deals were actually in the pipeline that time. And then when I spoke to them, I said like, hey, let's finalize this thing. They said, hey, man, at the moment, it's more important for us to survive the business than to think about marketing, because marketing is something we can always do it later on as well. At the moment, it's a survival thing. So how do you manage that kind of things? Is that something you thought to actually took the thing as like, okay, the thing's gonna recover soon, so let's cut down the overall packages, and so wherever I'm charging this much, maybe I can charge this much to the client, or maybe you stop the marketing side for you taking new clients on board, or did you actually fire out some of the team members to cut down your overheads? How did you manage that kind of challenging time, because it might gonna come again? Who knows about it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
No, so
how
we,
in yeah, how in
yeah,
a
yeah.
my question is like, how as an agency owner we can survive in that kind of time?
Yeah, so first of all, no one's immune to it. We went through it. We probably lost a third of our revenue
Yeah,
just in one hit. Steps that we took is just how can we help? So we weren't reactive with it. We contacted clients pretty quickly and was like, hey, this is happening. Here's what we could do, and here's how we can help. Some of them just stayed because
yep,
we made that proactive approach and contacted the clients. Some of them wanted to go down with
yep,
their budgets, and then look, some they finished up. They couldn't survive it, and it usually comes down to business management. And probably one thing out of this, not just how we respond, how can you be proactive to this, is like get on top of your numbers, have positive cash flow, have that bolster for 3 to 6 months where you can actually survive, depending, even if nothing comes in. But that's really important. That's just business 101 stuff, financial 101 stuff. And we're really working hard on that to build our agency to make it more solid, so
yeah,
nothing can shake it like that. So that's a big thing we learned out of it. We've got to be a lot more good stewards in that regard. But the way we responded to it was that we just came and met the clients. And
mm,
then look, we just got more aggressive afterwards because we saw a need. And this was unique for COVID-19, that all of a sudden everyone's going online. So it was actually our biggest growth phase that we've ever seen in 2020. Like we went from a team of 2 to now a team of 10 in the last 3 years.
yeah,
So
because I know some of the people, there were like a lot of startups which came at that time, and everyone who ever was busy before COVID-19 in their day-to-day show, and they also took that opportunity sitting at home to have a think about it, like, hey, it's a time to go from offline to online. So,
mm,
and that actually gave a kind of an opportunity to SEO agencies as
yeah.
well to get a new clients on board. I know the government, especially the Australian government, they gave some kind of like a grants to these guys as
Yeah, we
well.
got boosters for our tax purposes and things like
Okay,
that. But
okay,
for this is agency specific. It's put every business owner online. Like
yes,
in Australia, every person needed to learn how QR codes worked. QR codes before 2020, that no one knew what they were. Like they were like, oh yeah,
offline
I've seen it
definitely.
before, but no idea how it works. Now
Yes.
they know how it works. I used to do sales meetings on Zoom before COVID. And literally, it took me sometimes 10, 15 minutes to explain to someone, like a potential client, how Zoom works. And then I got selling. Now,
I
everyone knows
noticed the same thing as well.
yeah,
Noticed the
now
same thing
everyone knows how
because
to use Zoom.
introducing myself more to the technology that time as well, setting it up, everything was coming late. I remember that webcam, I purchased a webcam for my Windows computer. I was having Mac, but I said, okay, let's have a computer as well. It's a lot more easy sometimes, some softwares that run on Windows, and that took me literally like 4 weeks from not too far, actually. It's like a few miles only, so from that place to get to my place, so that was coming by shipment, so everything was so much slow at that time. But I completely agree with you, because I noticed the same thing in my business as well. I actually got a kind of exponential growth during that time when everyone was in, especially in the US market, when everyone was just checking out and firing out their clients, their in-house teams, and that gave us a lot of opportunity for outsourcing back home in India. And when we got that, we actually hired, we doubled our team actually that time. So that
Yeah,
was
wow.
a good opportunity, I remember it was. So,
Yeah. But
and
look, so here's the thing. So that was COVID. That was unique. Like no one's ever seen anything like that in our lifetime anyway. Maybe yeah, before there's been a Spanish flu and stuff. But it was the greatest opportunity for us as agencies because it's put everyone online. Okay, so like everyone knows, okay, I need to be online. That's where we're at, and that's where it stayed. It's not like people are going away from that.
Yes,
So
true.
it's given our industry a big boost to start with. Coming out of this, we've probably still got some tough times ahead of us. I do believe that. But again, it's what's your relationship like with your clients? Like, that's where it comes back to what can you give extra to help them prosper through this time? Because look, here's the thing, recession or no recession, there's going to be businesses that prosper. There's going to be businesses that grow during this time. So we're going to be more aggressive in terms of our lead gen and just building our presence. And I understand that we won't get as many deals over the line or anything, but just as an agency owner, it's like, okay, if I know that, let's plan that. And it's like, okay, well, we're not going to move into that bigger office space. We're not going to do this or this or this. And we're going to look at our budget internally. It was like, well, what can we squeeze so we can continue to service our clients and weather the storms? It's just, it's not just about marketing. It's like, okay, what's a good business mindset? I know this is coming. Have I got cash sitting there that can ride me through this? But also, I know I'm not going to close 5 out of 10 deals anymore. It might only be 2. Well, how does that affect things? Do we take on that extra person? Maybe not. Okay, let's look at a different way to doing this, or how can we combine things? My biggest thing is I want my team to see this through. That's my number one thing, and I want our clients to prosper through this time as well. That's the greatest priority in all this. If we don't grow during hard times, that's cool. Just surviving, I think, is successful as well.
Oh, yes. The big survival was the biggest thing I remember too. So, and then what is kind of an advice you can actually give it to the local businesses? Because I know you work a lot with the local businesses, and some of times they always feel like, oh, the SEO agencies, whatever they promises, they don't really deliver that much.
Yeah.
And so what kind of results, basically the kind of advice you can give them, whoever wants to come and take their family business something to the next level in Australia or in overall demand? What do you think about it?
I always look in terms of how to choose a good SEO company. Really, there's kind of 3 things that I look at. Let me just grab these so I'll make sure I get it right. But you want to make sure there's proof, okay? Here's the thing, so there's a lot of good SEOs in Australia. Not all of them are at the #1 spot, okay? That's okay. That's just, that industry is crazy, and there's always going to be fluctuation and things like that. If they're #1, great. What I've found is that if they're at #1, how much are they spending on their campaigns rather than their clients? That's what I've seen in terms of they're losing clients very quickly as well. So, but being #1's also, that's a good thing. So that's proof. They can do it for themselves, great. But I look for, okay, what other proof do they have? Not just testimonials and reviews, but it's like, have they got case studies? Have they got actual proof that what they say they're going to deliver, they're going to get? Okay, so that's the #1 thing. 2, you want to see that they're going to be transparent. So it's like, okay, I want to do SEO, but what does that look like each month? What are we going to get? Show me the tangibles, okay? So how many links am I going to get? How many content pieces am I going to get? How many hours are you going to work on my website? And how do I know that you're going to do this work? Okay. What's the proof that you're actually going to do what you say you do? Like if you buy an iPod, they're not just going to give you an empty case. They're like, here's the iPod, touch it, feel it. This is what you're going to get. Okay. So you've got to show transparency. It's not just an empty case. You're actually going to get the product that's inside as well. And again, remember, like you as a business owner, I'm talking to the people that you've just asked this for, you probably don't understand what a backlink is, what a title tag is, and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to. Just get transparency in the reporting that the work's actually been done. Okay. And then what's the focus? What are they trying to sell you? Okay. If they're trying to sell you just rankings or impressions and things like that, probably not a good thing. If they're going to sell you, hey, we're going to make your phone ring, we're going to drive leads, that's what you want to focus on.
That's what the important.
Okay, so proof that they can do what they're going to do, transparency, demonstration of how they're going to be transparent in delivering their work, and then what's the actual focus, okay? And it's, you want more phone calls. That's what you want. You don't want to see impression charts and things like that. I want my phone ringing. I'm a business owner too, so I get it.
Oh yeah, because we need to understand their lingo, their end goal, but they don't really want to get into all these technical kind of things because they already got a lot in their own businesses as well. So what they really want is a how you can help me to grow. And
Yeah,
I completely agree. I mean, like you picked the point. So yes, no, that's a good advice.
that's
David.
three things that I encourage business owners to look at: proof, transparency, and what's the focus. Like,
What's the
are they focused on results?
Yes, yes, they can't get wrong with that. And yeah, so no, that's pretty awesome stuff, David. And whoever the people wants to touch base with you, what is the best way? Is that something you are available on Skype, or what they should contact you via the contact form on website that sell?
Yeah,
Um,
look,
the website is the websites that sell.com.au. Am I right?
that's the one. Yeah, websites at sell.com.au. Look us up. There's heaps of content on there. Go through our blog posts. We've got a heap of stuff there. If you kind of don't know what you're doing, have a
Yep.
look through that. Reach out. We're an Australian company, 9 to 5. Usually our office is manned Monday to Friday. We take weekends off because we believe that we should have fun on weekends, but we're enough here and we work hard enough on Monday to Friday. But anytime Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, give us a call, 1300 188 662. Otherwise, flick us an email, info@websitesatsell.com.au. But any one of those channels, always happy to have a chat and help people out.
Yep. No, that's great, man. Thanks, David. Thanks a lot for sharing all this wisdom with all of us. And I'm very much sure all these kind of nuggets really gonna help us to take our agencies to the next level as well. So
Come
definitely there is
on.
a lot of things we can learn it from you. And yeah, no, thanks for your time once again, sir.
Plenty of business owners need help in what we do. So there's way too many business owners out there for just one agency to do it. So the more good agencies that we can help people get better at what they do, the better.
Yeah, true. Very true.
So,
All right. Yep. Thanks for that, David. I really appreciate it, and thanks everyone who's watching this call with David. And David, you were really spot on, man.
cheers.
Thanks for everything what you're doing. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Take care
Bye.
of yourself. Bye bye.